Previously, an illusion of Gaia.
Ride, Willie, ride, roll, Willie, roll. Wherever you're gambling now, nobody knows.
Hello again, and welcome back to Nathan Plays Illusion of Gaia. My name is Nathan, and this, of course, is Illusion of Gaia on the Super Nintendo. It has been an abnormally long time, I think, since the last video that I posted, and for that I apologize. Sometimes real life just gets in the way. But we're back on track. We're heading up to the Mount Temple, or Temple Mountain, or something, to retrieve, the tear pot, as I recall. So let's get right into it. I confess I don't exactly recall why we were going for the tear pot. It just seemed like a good idea at the time. Teapot full of tears, what's not to like? No time wasted as we head straight out of the city. We got work to do. So let's head on up to Mount Temple there. This travel sequence a little less excruciating than most, mostly because we don't have to turn around or head south. North, northeast, northwest is the easiest way. It involves the least amount of turning. And we get to kind of a interesting place. There's a strange place at the summit of Mount Crest. Oh, okay. That's a good choice of words. Mushrooms many times bigger than me, and plant stalks are scattered around. Yeah, I guess. So the plant stalks are going to make the corridors that we're going to head around on, and of course, what else would you find in a place full of giant mushrooms and plant stalks than flying skulls? Flying skulls that just kind of go up and down or left to right on a fixed pattern, turn around at a certain point, and head right back. They're annoying because they just take a while to kill. Like, I don't know. There's not really a great way to deal with them. Kind of a neat lighting effect in the background there, and so I started making my way through this maze of plant stalks, also finding some spiders here that shoot venom and use their webs as a sort of zip line to get from place to place. See, these skulls just keep backing me up like that, and that's kind of the irritating part about them, but at least it could be worse. Slide kicks seem to work pretty well on the spiders, so that's a plus. And the venom does go away after a little while. My first area clear, I received a strength increase. The way between areas is marked off by those little purple plants there, as you can see. Oh, I'm up from 3 damage to 4. Makes a substantial difference when fighting the skulls. Not really. We have our next enemy, the Gold Skull. Gold Skulls just kind of hover back and forth and shoot fire from their eyes, as of course they would. You would expect no less from a Golden Skull. Takes a few hits to clear them out as well. But fortunately they're not too terribly troublesome. Although I do get hit by them a couple of times. I decided to try my cool charge-up attack, and of course I missed terribly. Thanks a lot. Charge-up attack. Or my bad timing. Found the end of a stalk there, and headed onto this platform of mushrooms where I met the next new enemy type. Not sure what to call him. Let's say Pied Piper. Why not? As he floats around, flames surround him and occasionally will gather together to sort of burst outward. They take quite a few hits as well. And any flames that are left over after you beat them do the starburst thing after all. So you see, even in death, they can still lash out and do a bit of damage. This mushroom platform, I wasn't entirely sure where this actually got me in terms of moving forward in the area, so it took a bit of searching around. Looks like that'll be a way to get around later on. But after some meticulous searching around the edge of the platform, I was able to find the way off. Slide kicks, not super effective on the Golden Skulls, unfortunately. But I was able to use my new maneuver. I did see that save point there, and then I decided, whatever, grab a safety save. See if there's any new powers. Oh. Not new powers, but at least a way to change into Freedan. Should make things slightly easier going forward. And no advice from Gaia. Come on. What are you here for? Let's see how those Pied Pipers are to deal with right now. Well, still not great. Now, I used my fireball there. Again, I completely forget what things are called. And it didn't trigger the new ability that you'll see a little bit later. The drink that I had in town in the last episode did say that it upgraded that attack, but I thought at first that it was just a strength increase, like just an attack power. But it has a new thing, which I mistook for an enemy attack at first. But it turns out that when you hit things just so, with that attack, an extra burst of fireballs swings out from around it. And it's actually surprisingly useful. You'll see me do some good shots with it later on, and some terrible, terrible misses as well, but, you know. So the abrupt transition here back to Young Will is because I wanted to get back to the rest of the level and clear out some of the enemies I'd missed before moving on to the next area. It's abrupt because of editing, as you may have guessed. I'm sorry, you probably didn't need to know that. Anyway, defense increase. Defense increase! Yay! That will help me not die. So I turned back to Friedan and headed on to the next screen. His extra range is a plus, too. It's funny, watching it, the pathways are so narrow and like your fighting area is, but you don't... I feel like you don't feel it so terribly much while you're there. Here I found what appears to be a bit of a dead end. Some vines trailing outward there. Maybe that'll be something later on. Or maybe it's just a dead end. Foreshadowing. After a little bit more creature murdering, I got an HP increase. But there is still a chest in the area. Maybe I'll come back to it. I checked into this area briefly. Lots of stuff to do there. We'll come back to it. I want to know about this chest. So I went to a different area to the right, which was more linear than any of them so far. And here I'll demonstrate the new power of my fireball attack. When placed properly, it actually does a surprising amount of damage. And slows the game down in kind of a cool way. Now, whether that's for dramatic effect or just because the engine can't handle that much stuff moving around on screen, well, yeah, that's up to the viewer to decide. Found a save point, and got some more strength. All in all, a pretty good day. In here, I can change back to Young Will. But I decided just to save my game and keep going as Friedan. Just had to check and make sure there really weren't any skills or abilities I could pick up by doing so. The linear area kind of went around in a big hairpin and came back to the previous area, which had a red jewel all along. There's that one chest taken care of. I apologize if the editing and things in this area is kind of confusing, but the area doesn't really give you a lot to work with in terms of, like, visual kind of cues for where you are, if you take my meaning. Other areas have kind of a stronger visual identity to some of the different screens that you're on, but this one's just maze after maze of green vines, and when you're jumping back and forth chronologically, it's a little bit hard to track where you are. So just trust me, we're making forward progress. Or maybe you don't care about any of that. Skull after skull. And the last one got me some more HP. Thanks, skulls. Thulls. On this adjacent mushroom platform, it's the mushroom drops. Wow. The mushroom drops. Not just any mushroom drops. What are mushroom drops? I will forever not be able to keep my start and select straight. Start opens the enemy and map screen, select opens the equipment screen. So as you saw, the description for the mushroom drops say that it grows plants from stalks. As we found that sort of frayed dead end earlier, we're going to head back there and see if these things actually do anything. Here we go. I tried using the water from the mushroom. Wow, look at that. More spiders, more skulls. This place is kind of a nightmare. I mean, personally, in real life, I hate spiders. I just can't stand them. These are huge. These are like the size of dogs. And then there'd be flying skulls, and I'm pretty sure I haven't met a flying skull, but I don't think I'd be down for that either. It turns out the mushroom drops are single-use only. That's what I was checking out there. I didn't realize if I had to go get more or not, and it turns out I do. So I was off to explore a side area with some more of these fellas. High Pied Pipers, which are a little more easily dispatched with a fireball rather than getting in close and trying to do something about it. Even if the thing doesn't explode the way it should, which again, I'm not entirely sure why that works or doesn't. I think I need to score a more direct hit than I'm doing sometimes. As you see there. It's just a lot simpler to fight some of these things with that. I found a treasure chest, and inside the chest, it's the mushroom drops. Okay, well, are these the mushroom drops? Because I thought I already found... That's confusing. Anyway, doesn't matter. Never mind. Time to head back to the place I was stuck before. Give these things a try. Wonderful. Onward we go. Before heading on to the next area, I detoured slightly just to find those last two enemies. And then apparently decided not to, thinking that I would come back to it later. This is confusing me too, to be honest, and I recorded the thing. I found another save point with what looks to be a new power for Freedan. Let's check it out. As always, the light is supposed to be flickering rapidly, but thanks to the frame rate at which I record, you can't see it. Aura barrier can now be used. The Aura Barrier is a dark power that can only be used by the Dark Knight Freedan. Use the power of the Aura to put a barrier around you. Use the attack and LR buttons for power. Well, that sounds interesting. Operating under the assumption that it worked the same way as the that stupid whirligig power that Will has, which it does, I immediately set about testing it. It creates brief barriers, but timed properly, you can have it create longer lasting barriers. Although, with the wind-up, with the lead time on charging it up, I wasn't really sure, and I'm still not, how useful this thing's actually going to be. Enemies at the mountain temple are strong. If you use this power, your way will be easier. I confess that I never actually attempted to use it outside of this time. At this point in the video, you'll see that I selected yes to resting a while, because when I was originally recording, I thought I had lots and lots of footage, and I set about heading over to the computer to edit and put this thing together. But when I was done, I realized I had about half of an episode, and I hadn't really accomplished anything of note. So that is part of the reason why this one took so long to produce, because it took another week or two for me to even get around to recording more. And when I did, it looked like this. Back at it. So if any of my actions in the game seem strange, it's because it's been a couple of weeks from when I saved it there to when I started again. Here, let's try out a well-placed fireball there. I know there's a name for it. I know there is, but I cannot be bothered to remember it all. See where this takes me, and oh, right back to where I started. Fine. I wanted to show off this moment because of my excellent spider venom dodge and then walk right into it. Fantastic work. I am a fine video gamer, if you ever had any doubts. Oh, I saw that treasure chest there. I saw you, buddy. I'm coming back for you. Precautionary charge, and you can see how quickly I can dispatch those guys with just the right timing and aim there, as well as those skulls. That attack seemed a lot more useful than any barrier could be, so I really just completely forgot about the barrier entirely. Maybe later on it'll be useful again. So, ramping off of there, I got to bounce across some fun mushrooms, head up another one, and find myself at the treasure chest I bypassed before. Once again, it's the mushroom drops! Yay! Mopping up the last few stragglers in the area. Netted me 1 defense increase. Got a little bit confused about where I was going. Oh, there it is. Deploy the mushroom drops. Oh, equip the mushroom drops. There we go. I'm still carrying around that apple. Some other random stuff. Sometimes things just disappear after you use them. Sometimes not. Who knows? Even though I've powered up substantially, and it only takes 3 hits to kill those things, they still back me up, and I'm not sure if if I have bad timing, or need to be more aggressive, or what. Anyway, moving on to the rest of the area. Another defense increase. Boy, oh boy. And as you can see at the top of the screen, I've been picking up quite a few of those little the crystals, those orbs, and so I've got actually 6 extra lives right now, which should come in handy if I have to face any sort of a large boss. Even though they respawn you with half health, I mean, it's something. After finishing off this area, a strength increase. Huzzah! I like those the best, I think. I look forward to those the most. Just check and make sure I got everything. Yep, looks good. Nothing going on in this area, so I was beginning to believe that it was going to be a boss fight any second now, especially with this sort of unusual set of platforms here. But there's just a chest. And inside the chest, you found the teapot. Ah, alright. So, obviously they're going to hit me with something on the way out. I guess, right? But no. No bosses came. No other characters followed me up here like usual. And so I set about leaving. But first of all, let's check it out. It's a jar filled with tears. Well, why wouldn't you want an item like that in your inventory? Who doesn't carry around a jar full of tears for those emergencies on the road or in the highways and byways of life? I got a flat tire. Well, let's chuck this jar of tears at it. So I made my way all the way back to the beginning of the area, having to switch back and forth between Friedan and Will so that I could get over certain hurdles. It was quite a lot of backtracking. And then I decided to head back to Euro City because there was nowhere else to go. I really, really was hoping at this point that I hadn't just missed something crucial in that area that would drive the story forward and that I was making the right choice here. Because that's entirely possible. I decided to head back to the geniuses that told me about this thing in the first place. Oh. Well, he's surprised that it even exists. This one suggests that maybe the townspeople have been changed into demons. Could even be your friends. Use the teapot on anyone you suspect. Oh good, it's a game of hide-and-seek now. Time to start walking around and pouring a jar of tears on people to see if they're demons. Why not? Not you. I decided that that person was beneath suspicion. Marketplace guy. Guess not. And then I remembered, oh, Roulette Company. Oh, I know who it is. Okay, it was those guys, the slave trader guys upstairs. Yeah, these guys. Tears. Tears for you. No. Tears for you. Nope. Wrong again. Ah. And so, at this point, I started making my way through town, sort of meticulously trying it on everybody. I headed through the marketplace, talked to everyone again, poured small amounts of tears on them. It wasn't weird at all. Eventually, I made my way back to the mansion, and for a lark, tried Neil's parents. And they were ghosts the whole time. What? Soon this world will be wrapped in darkness. The previous owner of this body is now a skeleton sleeping under the shrine. What? What the heck was that? Neil, what was that? Your parents. Yeah, Neil, yeah, ... indeed. But Neil's just now having an epiphany about how important his parents are. Don't it always seem to go? You don't know what you got till it's gone. Will tells him that he's ashamed. Dude. Will, take it easy, man. Neil just kind of lost his parents and then found out the parents he'd been hanging out with for days were ghosts. Well, Will heads back to the guest room with his friends. It's the next morning. Disappointment awaits. I think I post that as my Facebook status, like, every day. Neil apologizes for breaking down in emotions yesterday and has decided to take over the company after all. He's bounced back pretty quickly from the death of his parents, or, you know, the mysterious disappearance and replacement of his parents. Anyway, we're joking about it. Haha, it's good times. And Neil says, Kara, someone's come asking about you. Something about being an old friend. It's the Jackal! Neil's just gonna let him on in and up! It's not him at all! Hamlet! Oink, oink, says Hamlet. So glad to have you back. Somehow, this adorable little pig found his way across the world. I can't even remember offhand where we saw him last. I'm gonna have to go look that up. That's pretty exciting. Well, Neil's all good. Eric doesn't understand women. Hamlet is Hamlet. And Kara says, let's go check out the ruins of Angkor Wat. That's where the laborers' home is located. Let's go. And so we ditch Neil to deal with the incredible trauma of losing his parents and finding out that they were kidnapped and murdered and then replaced by ghosts. We don't care. We have adventures to go have. Bye! We went to the natives' village near Angkor Wat. Why we didn't just go to Angkor Wat itself, who knows? But I guess we thought we'd stop in and say hi. It's beastly hot. Hot as the tropics, says Kara. Eric is writing poetry. And Will says we'll stay in the village today. Hopefully they'll allow us to stay in the village. That's very presumptive of you, Will. Skeletons. It's probably fine. Nobody here. And they just decide to make themselves at home. There's not a table in there, you guys. You might have a little trouble getting comfortable. Some mysterious statues. Is it really a village if there's only 2 huts altogether? I guess so. I don't know what the rules are there. And another skeleton. So we decide to just set up camp in the creepy skeleton village. Hamlet is still Hamlet. And we're going to stay the night. Or at least through the hot part of the day. When suddenly, an ambush. And we move to us about to be eaten. Of course. The tribespeople are extremely hungry, so they've resorted to cannibalism. One of the game's characteristic and repeated hard left turns into darkness. Why such a sad look, Hamlet? Oh, no, Hamlet, no. No, don't do this. Don't do this, Hammy. Hammy! But he did. Unbelievable. Your adorable baby pig. But wait, there's more. Eric, too soon. Too soon, man. Come on. Now... And from the pig, a familiar voice echoed in their heads. It was Hamlet's wish to be food for these people. One baby pig could save many villagers. Baby pig's not that big. Yes, of course. The ghost of Will's mom emerges from the pig on the fire to warn everyone about the darkness approaching and to comment upon the nobility of Hamlet's sacrifice. Did I ever mention how odd this game can be sometimes? Have I... maybe you've picked up on that, maybe not. It's kind of subtle, but this is kind of a weird game, occasionally. Our bonds are loosed. And Eric's just totally over it. So I went around and made introductions. Take his hand? Yeah. Yeah, I think I will. We don't understand each other's language, but I think we agree. Well, good. After the noble sacrifice and the ghost attack, we've come to an understanding. This one wants to show me something. Is it a red jewel? No, it's a deceased friend or loved one. Well, now I feel like a jerk. This one shows me where to go next on the map. Not bad. The man holds out some food. Eat some? Well, they're starving, but it would be rude not to. It seemed as if we understood each other. So after going around and talking to everybody, the rest of them just wanted to shake my hand again or eat. Kara and Eric have taken shade. Kara's already learning the language. Good for you. And they're just going to finish cooking Hamlet there. Good job, guys. Make sure you don't undercook it. I was about to head off to the next area, but then I realized maybe I should see if there's a save point here. Nope, still empty. Got the impulse to check behind the house, and hey, presto! Well, that brings this episode to a close. Some rather alarming things have happened, but as always, we've weathered it super well. Everybody is emotionally resilient and committed to the adventure at this point, so no time for saying goodbyes or worrying about loved ones that we lost along the way or why your ghost mother emerged from the body of a pig that was on a fire. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Next episode, we'll head to Angkor Wat. We'll see what's over there, see what we can punch in the face with our flute. And in the meantime, I will say, of course, thank you for your patience. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next mission.